Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. This video I'd like to show you part 1 of the Enigma blanket. This is my own design, and if you'd like to have the written instructions or know about the yarn or anything I'm using for the Enigma blanket, the link to the pattern is in the video description, as well as where you can find yarn and what hooks I'm using and all of that information. So in this first part we'll be doing part 1 of the Enigma blanket, which will be actually making this mandala. Eventually it will grow into a blanket. So let's get started with part 1. Round 1 is going to make a slip knot in my yarn. I'm going to start the first round with a chain 4. 2, 3, 4, and then close this to form a ring. If you want to, you're welcome to do a magic ring instead of the chain 4. Now in here, in that little gap there, we're going to work 12 half doubles. Start with a chain 2. This is not a stitch, this is just to get you to the working height. And then in that little gap work 12 half doubles, so in that opening. So this is the first one, 1 and 2, 3, and continue until you have 12, 4, and then last one here. 12. Going to close to the first stitch with a slip stitch. So here's a chain 2, which is not a stitch. So I'm just going to come to the first real stitch in there and then close with a slip stitch. Leave your yarn attached for the next round. Round 2. This round we're going to work 2 double crochets in every stitch. The first double is a chain 3, and then work another double in the same stitch. So where you've already got that slip stitch, work another double. And now continue and go all the way around, so 2 doubles in every stitch. So that's 1, 2, so that was. So now I've got 4, so the idea is that at the end you've got 24 doubles at the end of this round. So that was 3. I'm just going to continue like this, working 2 doubles in every stitch, and I'll just quickly see you here for the slip stitch join. I'm all the way round, work 2 doubles in every stitch, so you have 24 doubles at this point. And I'm just going to close on the third chain. So here's a chain 3, so just the top chain there, insert and close with a slip stitch. At this point you can cut your yarn and fasten off. Round 3, I have a new color yarn on my hook with a slip knot, and you're going to start in any stitch, doesn't matter where, and we're going to start with a standing double crochet. To do a double crochet, do the yarn over and hold on to that loop. Then in any stitch, insert, pick up a loop. You're still holding on to that loop there, and then take off 2, take off 2. So this is a standing double crochet. In the next stitch we also do a double. Then a chain 1. We're also going to, this is also the repeat we're actually going to be doing all the way round. So a double in the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 and 1, and then a chain 1. And repeat this all the way around, so it's a double in the next 2 stitches. So it's important you're not skipping any stitches here. So a double and another double, and then a chain 1. Continue like this all the way around, and I'll just see you here for how to join on that standing stitch. So I'm almost all the way round. I've just worked these 2 doubles, then a chain 1 that completes the last repeat, and now we're going to join on the standing stitch here with a slip stitch. There's a slip knot, and just next to it there's a stitch, so into that stitch and close with a slip stitch. There we go. That completes this round. You can cut your yarn and fasten off. Round 4. In this round we're going to be working surface slip stitches over the double crochets from round 2. Now you can work them there in the top of the stitches, or you can work them here in the bottom of the stitches, or you can work them here between the posts. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do between the posts. So I'm just going to insert my hook here between 2 stitches, doesn't matter where, and then from the back just grab my yarn. And now we're going to go between the posts, because that's where I picked up the yarn, and then work a slip stitch. Keep these stitches a little loose, because you don't want them to pull in too much. So between the posts of the stitches I'm inserting my hook and just working 1 slip stitch at a time, and that way going all the way round. So I've done a few now. I'm just going to continue, and then when I'm here I'll just show you how to do this last one, because this is with an invisible join. So I'm almost all the way round. Just have 1 more slip stitch that I'm actually going to work. That's this one here. So I'm just going to work this last one. And now there is actually still 1 stitch left, but this one I'm not going to work with the hook. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut my yarn and then open up this loop. So you're basically fastening off. And then thread this on a needle. Now the invisible join for the slip stitch. Come to the first slip stitch worked, and just insert your needle underneath both of those loops. Okay. And then come back to the last slip stitch worked, and here insert your needle there from front to back. And now all of these stitches look the same. Here to the back, at least for this situation what I like to do is I just like to make a little knot between these 2 threads, these 2 yarn tails, and now I'm just going to work them into the loops here. So I've got this one already on my needle, so I'll just thread this in anyway. There you go. Be careful not to pull this too tight, because that will affect the invisible join on the front. And then I just go back a little bit as well. There we go. And now I can cut this yarn also. There. And of course do the same with the other thread here also, and then we're ready for the next row. Round 5, new color yarn on my hook. In this round we're going to be working in the chain spaces and also on the doubles. In any chain 1 space, doesn't matter which one, start with the standing single crochet. There we go. Now for the repeat, chain 2, 2. Over the first 2 doubles we're going to work a front post treble 2 together. So that means treble, so that's yarn over twice. Around the first stitch, front post, take off 2, take off 2, And now the same for the next, yarn over twice, come to the next stitch, front post, take off 2, take off 2. 3 loops on your hook, take them all off in one go. The next stitch is a chain 1 space, work a double in there. The next 2 stitches get again a front post treble 2 together. So yarn over twice, around the first post, 1, 2, go to the next, yarn over twice, take off 2, take off 2, and take them all off in one go. Chain 2, 1, 2, in the, then come down and in the chain 1 space work a single crochet. So now you've worked like this little petal, and this single is of course the same as that single there. So this petal here, going to work 5 more of them, and then when you're at the end, so you're going to repeat this a few more times. So the next will here again a chain 2 in the front post treble 2 together, double front post treble 2 together, and a single, of course a chain 2 and then the single, all the way around. Here after you've done your last chain 2, so you've got the front post treble, you'll do the chain 2 and then come down, and after that just close on this single crochet here with a slip stitch, and then leave your yarn attached. Round 6, I'm just going to continue with the same color yarn. So chain 1. This does not count as a stitch. So in this same position, so in this where I'm currently in with the slip stitch, in that same stitch, work a single crochet in there. In the chain 2 space, so we're now already going to work on the repeat. In the chain 2 space, here work 1 single. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to work a front post treble 3 together over the next 3 stitches. That is this stitch here, that's 1, because this is a 2 together stitch, that's 1 stitch, and then the double here is stitch 2, and then the next treble here 2 together is stitch 3. So yarn over twice because it's a treble, then come to the first stitch, take off 2, take off 2. Now we repeat, yarn over twice, come to the second stitch, do a front post, take off 2, take off 2, and again yarn over twice, come to the third stitch, again as a front post, 2 off, 2 off. At this point you have 4 loops on your hook, take them all off in one go. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now come down, and you've got here the chain 2 and in the single and then the chain 2 from the next. So in this first chain 2 work a single crochet. You've got here this center single that also gets a single crochet. And this single here is the same as the one we started with. So this here is your full repeat. So to start the next one would again be a single, then a chain 3, and now again the treble 3 together. I'll quickly show you, yarn over twice. This is the first leg, the second, and likewise the third. And again take them all off. Chain 3, yes, chain 3, and then coming down with the single in the chain space and on the single. So now I've worked 2 full repeats. That second one went a bit faster. Repeat this for the other petals also, and then when you're here, you're going to work a single crochet in this last chain 2 space, and then close here on the first single crochet there, close with a slip stitch, and then you can also fasten off. Now at the end of round 6, you'll notice that your work cups at this point. Don't worry about this. You see, I can already push it flat a little. As we add more rounds, it'll stay flat. So this cupping will go a bit away. So if I just push it a little flat, this is where we're going. This is what we want. So I'm just going to continue with the video. You'll notice is that there'll be different yarn used in the next few rounds. That's because I've used the same video footage from the mandala version. And of course the first few rounds are different for the mandala than for the blanket. So so don't worry that you'll see something different here as compared to the rest of the video. Because the stitches that are being worked here into these petals, they are the same. So for the next few rounds you'll see a different color yarn, but the video is correct, so continue with that. Round 7, new color yarn on my hook with a slip knot, and we're going to start in the treble 3 together stitch here with a standing back post double. So there's the stitch. I'm going to start in there. So you've got all 3 of these legs, so that's where we're going to start. But we're going to do this from the back, so like that. So really through those chain loops. Now, so standing back post double. That means here's yarn over and hold on to that loop. So what you're doing is just in and out of the chain spaces. Then you're in the right place. Around that stitch, and then complete the back post double. There you go. Chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chains. You've got here these 3 single crochets. Over those 3 stitches, going to work a double crochet 3 together. So yarn over, come to the first single, pick up a loop and take off, come to the next stitch, do the same, and the third stitch, and do the same. All 4 loops take off in one go. Double crochet 3 together. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now come to the same in here on this next flower petal. Do a back post double crochet around that treble 3 together. So the same. So yarn over around that stitch, so basically just in and out of the chain spaces. That's the easiest way to look at it. That's the back post double, and this is of course the same as the stitch you started with. So repeat this part all the way around, and here after your last 3 together, chain 6, close on that first standing stitch there, close there with a slip stitch, and leave your yarn attached. Round 8, let's continue with the same color. Chain 1. This does not count as a stitch. And in the position we are currently in, so in this back post double, work a single crochet. In the chain 7, or chain 6 space I should say, work 7 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. more yarn, and 7. There we go. I'm going to skip the 3 together stitch and come to the next chain space. Again, 7 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. This double here gets 1 single crochet. And this stitch is of course the same as the stitch we started with. So repeat all the way round, 7 singles in every chain space, the 3 together stitches you skip, and when you get to the double you work 1 single in there. Go all the way around, close on your first stitch with a slip stitch, so this first single there, close with a slip stitch, and again leave your yarn attached. Round 9, you're currently in that first single crochet from the previous round. In this round we're going to work a double on every stitch. So it's chain 3, that's your first double, then come to the next stitch and work a double, and continue like this all the way around, so a double on every stitch. When you get back to the beginning, close this round with an invisible join, and you've got the chain 3 here, and that's of course the same as when we had here the chain 3 right at the beginning of this this part. So a double on every stitch. After your last double, close over this chain 3 with an invisible join. I won't be showing that, so I'll see you again at round 10. Round 10, new color yarn on my hook, and this round we're going to work a back post double crochet on every stitch. The first one is a standing back post, and I'll just zoom in a little bit more so you can see a bit better what I'm doing. So hanging on to that stitch, come from the back, doesn't matter which stitch you start, so any stitch around the post of the stitch. We work a back post double. That's the first one. Of course also the next and the next and the next, all the way around. And when you're right back to the start, you can close with an invisible join. And I'll just show you how to do that as well. For now, go all the way around and work a back post double on every stitch. All the way around, worked all those doubles, back post doubles. Now just to close with an invisible join, I cut my yarn and then open up the stitch and thread the yarn on a needle. There we go. Now to close with an invisible join, we come to the second last, the second stitch work. So this is the first stitch work, this is the second. Go underneath, and now come back to the last stitch worked and insert top to bottom a bit towards the back. And that makes 2 loops. You can see them here very large. And if you just pull them tighter, they'll close up. And then this forms basically a new stitch on top of the existing stitch. There. And then here to the back, you've got the old stitch which you can work away. So work away both these yarn tails. And then that's it. You're ready for the next round. Round 11, I have a new color yarn on my hook with a slip knot. In this round we're going to be working in the back loop only of the stitches, so it doesn't matter where you start, but it is important that you work only in the back loop. And we're going to be working single crochets in this round. So in the back loop, there, for example, I'm just going to start on any stitch with a standing single crochet. I want to work 14 in total, so that's the first one, so I need to work 13 more. 2, and you see how I'm only working through the back loop. And it's not compulsory. If you feel that you don't want to, then that's of course also fine. But it just gives a nice little line here, and that's why I'm doing this. So 13 stitches plus that first one, of course, gives you 14. Just through the back loop. There we go. I've now worked 13 more, plus the first one is 14 singles, all in the back loop. The next stitch we work 2 single crochet, so 2 singles in the one stitch. So that's 1 and 2. And this is the repeat, going to do this all the way around. So now again 14 singles, so that's the first one, second, so likewise 14 singles, back loop only, and then again 2 in the stitch after, so it's 14 and then 2 and then 14 and 2. Go all the way around. You're going to be finishing here and then close on your first stitch. So you're going to be finishing with two singles in the one stitch, and then close on your first stitch with a slip stitch and fasten off. Round 12, new color yarn on my hook, and again it doesn't matter where you start. I'm going to start with a standing double crochet cluster, and this is a 2 cluster, so that means you've got 2 doubles worked in one stitch. So I'm going to yarn over for the standing bit, then any stitch, doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm going to grab this one, pick up the loop, take off 2, then yarn over again in the same stitch, pick up a loop, take off 2, 3 loops on your hook, take them all off, and there we go. That's a standing 2 double crochet cluster. Chain 4, 3, 4. Skipping 3 stitches, we then work another cluster. So 1, 2, 3, skip, and then in the 4th stitch work another one of these. This you're going to repeat all the way around. So chain 4, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, skip, and in the 4th stitch a 2 double cluster. So I've now worked a few of them. Repeat all the way around, and then after your last cluster it'll be a chain 4. Then close here on this first standing stitch. So here in that stitch, close there with a slip stitch, and then you can also fasten off. Round 13, new color yarn on my hook, and I'm going to start in any of these chain spaces. Start with a standing single crochet. So in any space, work 1 single, followed by another. So 2 singles in the space. We're now going to come down, and here you have these 3 skip stitches. That center one, I'm going to work a treble in there, and it's important that you miss the stitches here to the back. So yarn over twice for the treble, and then into that second of the 3rd stitches, and it's important that you really fold your work to the back, that you miss the rest. Let's catch anything, and complete the treble. Now come back up to the chain space and work 2 more singles in the chain space. And this little group, I'm going to repeat that all the way around. I'll show you again. So 2 singles in this next space. So you're skipping the cluster stitch. Yarn over twice for the treble. You've got 3 skipped stitches. Grab the center one. Make sure your work is to the back, that you don't work over anything. complete the treble. Then in the same space where you're already at, work 2 more. Now repeat this all the way around. Got quite a few more spaces to do, and here after your last set of stitches, close on your first standing single crochet with a slip stitch and fasten off. Round 14, new color yarn on my hook. On these 4 singles, going to start on that first one with a standing double crochet. That's 1, and then on the next 3 stitches work a double as well. That's 1, 2, 3 more. So now you have 4 doubles in total. Chain 2, 1, 2, and skip the treble here, and then come to the next single crochets and work a double on those 4 also. So 1, 2, 3, and then this is 4, and these 4 are of course the same. So now it's again chain 2, skipping the treble, come to the single and work a double. Now we're going to repeat that all the way round. When you get to the beginning, when you're back here, you're going to work your last 4 doubles, then a chain 2 and close on this first standing stitch, and you can also fasten off. Round 15, new color yarn on my hook, and we're going to start in the second of any 4 double crochets. So in that second one with a standing single. So second stitch, start with a standing single crochet. The next 2 stitches also get a single. 1 and 2. Here's now the chain 2 space. In that space work 1 single crochet. So you now have 4 singles. We're going to come down. Here this treble, we missed this treble. In that stitch, going to work a treble popcorn. Okay, and that means yarn over twice because it's a treble, and then into that stitch. Now you're going to have to fold your work into that stitch. And be sure to miss your stitches here, so to work in front of them. Work a treble. 1, 2, 3 times yarn off. But this is 1, you need 4 more, so 5 trebles in total in this one stitch. And this is 2. And this round is a real yarn eater. These popcorns, they take a lot of yarn. 3. This is 4, and the last treble 5. And you see all the time I'm just folding my work here to the back, so I don't accidentally work over that. There. 5 trebles. Open up your working loop. Just hold on to that. And then come to the first of the 5 trebles. So there, insert your hook into that stitch. And grab your working loop. Put it back on your needle. Just pull tight. And now pull your working loop through that first stitch. And chain 1. And that completes the treble popcorn. Here you have the double crochets. Skip this first one and come to the second and work a single. There. And this single is the same as the standing one we started with. So these stitches, this is your repeat. So that means work We now start the second repeat, so it's 2 singles, 1 on each, and then a single in the chain space, and now again a treble popcorn. So yarn over twice. In that skipped treble from 2 rows down, work 1 treble, and this is 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. Open up that loop, come to the first stitch, insert your hook, pick up your loop and pull through. Chain 1, remember the chain 1, that's just to close the popcorn. Skipping that next double, come to the second one and work a single. There we go. And this is it. Now I've done 2 repeats, go all the way around. This is a time consuming round and a yarn eater. And after you've done your last treble popcorn, close here on your first stitch there with a slip stitch, and then you can also fasten off. Round 16, new color yarn on my hook, and we're going to start in the first of 4 single crochets with a standing double. So yarn over in that first single, standing double. Got 3 more singles, 1 in each of those. 2. And that means you will have 4 doubles here on those 4 stitches. Next up is the treble popcorn. The treble popcorn gets 2 doubles. So in there, that's 1 and 2. And repeat. So on your next stitch here is the single. So note that this loop here, that's the chain 1 from the popcorn. So don't work in that. Here you've got the first single. Go in there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the popcorn 2 trebles. 1, 2, and repeat all the way around. When you get to the first stitch here, close with an invisible join. Round 17. This round we're going to work a back post double crochet on every stitch. First one is a standing stitch, and it doesn't matter where you start. So a back post double on every stitch all the way round, and when you get to the first stitch, join on that stitch. So again, a very relaxing round, just one on every stitch all the way round. When you've completed part 1 of the Enigma blanket, your work looks something like this. This is a mandala of this at this point, of course. In part 2 we'll continue to grow this mandala, and eventually it will become a blanket. So I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon for part 2.